Live, local, late breaking. You're watching KOLD News 13 live at 5.
Governors say testing is the key to getting their states back open for business, but they say they need help from the Trump administration to get those tests done. Good evening to you. Pressure is growing on governors to lift stay-at-home orders. Here in Arizona, protesters have come to the Capitol for a second day in a row. They once again surrounded the State House in their cars. Some of them also got out to demonstrate. They're calling on Governor Doug Ducey to lift the restrictions, which have forced non-essential businesses to close and restaurants to switch to takeout only.
A lot of faith and prayers, and the numbers are dropping. And so instead of waiting for the perfect vaccine, which is going to take a long time to get, and it won't be perfect, just like flu vaccines are never perfect, at this point, we need to be able to be given the choice to be able to get out and start living our lives again.
Protesters also drove around the Capitol yesterday. Similar protests have been taking place all around the country. A spokesman for Governor Ducey says he appreciates the passion of the protesters, but will keep following the advice of health officials. The stay-at-home order runs at least through the end of the month.
Vice President Mike Pence thanked workers at FEMA headquarters where he participated in a conference call with the nation's governors. He says we are seeing encouraging signs that cases are leveling or going down. As parts of the country hope to move towards a gradual reopening, some state governors are calling for federal help with testing supplies.
From the very beginning, when the tests weren't there, to the many, many times we've asked for help and it hasn't come. I will always give credit for when the help did come. I'll always say thank you for that. But we still don't have a clear picture on testing.
Lawmakers are working on more funding for hospitals and testing as part of the deal to replenish the program, making loans to small businesses. Negotiators say it could pass by the end of the week.
Arizona has now topped more than 5,000 cases of COVID-19. 3 new deaths have been reported in the last 24 hours. And 2 of those newly reported cases were in Pima County, which is closing in on 1,000 cases. But the number of cases in Santa Cruz and Cochise counties remains low. More than 54,000 people have gotten tested, with about 8% of them testing positive. The number of people dying from COVID-19 in New York State has dropped below 500 a day for the first time in weeks. However, the number of hospitalizations remains unchanged. Starting this week, New York will give an antibody test to thousands of people. And those tests could give a clearer picture of how many New Yorkers might have been infected.
Georgia's governor says infections are dropping in his state, and he's letting some closed businesses reopen starting this Friday. Those include gyms, hair salons, and bowling alleys. But people will still have to follow strict social distancing requirements. Restaurants will also be able to resume dine-in service on a limited basis. But bars, nightclubs, and performance venues will still be closed. An investigation is now underway into the virus outbreak on the USS Theodore Roosevelt. Both the Navy and the Centers for Disease Control are involved. They're looking into how the virus got on board and spread so quickly. Nearly 700 crew members tested positive, and 1 sailor sadly has died. You might recall that the ship's captain lost his command over a memo that he sent out about the virus asking for help, but he could possibly be reinstated.
The KOLD News 13 Fact Finders team is working hard to answer all of your questions about COVID-19. We found a common trend with many people wanting to know how long the virus can live on certain items. And one of those questions included something you pick up for your own health. Melissa Egan has more on that.
This is something you may not think about if you are asked about your prescriptions and if a pharmacist who is showing no symptoms could transmit the virus while filling your prescription, if it could then be bottled up and then passed along to you. A recent study found coronavirus could live up to 2 to 3 days on plastic. Most pill bottles are made of a type of plastic.